नेहा दरवाजा खोलो, ये कैसी बदतमीजी है? छूट दी गई है ना, इसलिए जब देखो फोन पे लगी रहती है.
Personal life, privacy primarily means my mom knock before she enters the room.
A very special space.
It just means not being questioned.
From the moment we're born, we've been told that privacy is not for us. That if you lock the door, then you have something to hide. And if you're just a person that wants to be left alone, you're a person that must be watched. But where does this idea come from?
From my parents' point of view, it stems from the whole notion of safety.
Some say it's about protection, that the safety of a woman depends on constant supervision.
A lot of it is to do with patriarchal expectations of how women should live.
And then there's the notion that sometimes privacy is a foreign, maybe modern concept, something that distances us from our family values. So we decided to ask the people, do you think everyone requires privacy?
While we are social beings, at the end of the day, you need your own space. Because to me, privacy is equal to freedom. And freedom is a fundamental right. And therefore, privacy should be a fundamental right. You can just be yourself. You're not conscious about yourself. And being yourself just is easier on your mind. There are a lot of people and from different segments of society that are not able to express themselves. They don't have their own privacy. Even people from the gay community, the transgender community, they're called being in the closet because they're protecting their privacy.
I think so, but some people I feel like they can't tell the difference between privacy and loneliness.
I think everyone deserves to not disclose parts of themselves that they do not want to disclose. Also, I don't think the world is as accepting, so privacy is one of the base necessities that everybody should have. Yeah.
Do you think women in Indian families get personal space?
I don't know enough women who have their own room, who don't share it with either their parents or their siblings. When they go to college, if just in case they're allowed to go to another city, you're going to be staying in a PG. Women don't get to experience, living by themselves. I don't know any woman actually in my life who's actually living by herself in an apartment as an adult.
I don't think they really have much of a concept, at least in their generation, of personal space. Maybe some of my friends who've had a massive amount of privilege with very well-educated parents may have had incredible amounts of privacy, but I'm sure that is not the case overall. I doubt it. I mean, even I as a person who grew up as a man didn't have it, so I'm sure women don't.
A girl who wants to be alone is a girl that must be watched. Why do you think Indian parents are afraid of letting their kids have privacy?
I feel like the only time they are getting their privacy is when someone else is giving it to them.
I don't think so. I have 2 older sisters, and I think it's kind of a stigma that women should have everything known to their family, and the family should know exactly what's happening in their life. No, I don't think women in Indian families get enough privacy as much as they should and they deserve to.
Society often frames women as vulnerable and in constant need of protection. A damsel in distress. However, in our conversation with people, we found out that the real issue may not be the helplessness of women. It's got more to do with the systematic lack of privacy and safety, which forces women into the state of hypervigilance.
How do traditional values shape the idea of a woman's privacy?
Even if I have to hang out in my own apartment, which is 10 floors below them, I can't do that because what will society say about this girl who is hanging out down so late in the night? It's so bad. But if guys do it, it's okay. Guys are guys, they can do it. Especially if you're living in a societal apartment, like a gated community, it has a lot to do because so many judgy aunties and I think my parents care a lot about how they're perceived in the society.
I live by myself. My parents are super progressive now. I had to work very hard. I feel like it was somewhat, in some sense, it was a little bit easy because I had to convince my mom to see her own oppression.
So for the longest time, I was not allowed to talk to guys after 8 o'clock in my apartment. 8 o'clock, my mom would come to the basketball court, grab me from there and take me home so that I'm not seen spending time alone with guys. Not like I was doing anything wrong. Yeah, I was not allowed to walk alone with a guy. I was not allowed to talk alone with a guy. So I used to play a lot of sports, and sadly, a lot of the people who played sports over there were guys. So a lot of my friends ended up being guys. So I was never allowed to go hang out with them outside the court.
India is still patriarchal. People do consider it a threat. I feel like it also is a subconscious threat. Even though people our age are very open to the concept of, okay, you know what, this is the right thing to do. I need to give them their space and privacy and whatever. But I feel like as soon as women do take up that privacy and take up that space, suddenly it's very emasculating to a majority of the male population. And by supplement the patriarchal society.
In a world where women are expected to share each and every detail about their life, having the power to choose what to share and what to keep private is incredibly empowering. Stress is also a big cause of this. We know how anxiety-inducing it can be to be constantly monitored, watched, feel exposed.
Why do you think privacy is important for a woman's mental health?
I want to be able to express any emotion that I'm feeling out loud. If I'm just feeling a certain way and I want to cry without being asked like, oh, are you okay? Do you want like support? No, I don't want anything. Just leave me alone. Let me cry. Being able to express my emotions has a very big impact on my mental health, and sexual exploration, of course, that also has an impact on my mental health. Also, access to therapy. Like if you don't have privacy, how do you go to therapy and do like these progressive things with parents in your house? Like my mother sitting in the next room and I'm talking about how she hit me. तो वो ऐसा चलता नहीं है ना?
Why is discussing the right to privacy for women still controversial in many families?
I mean, lots of things are still controversial in families. No, talking about being gay is a taboo. Talking about pleasure is taboo. Talking about wanting to dress a certain way is taboo.
I'm not sure if these two things are going hand in hand, because patriarchy and the whole feeling of men wanting to protect women can be kept separate, because I feel like you can still be looking out for the women in your life but still not be patriarchal.
If she had sat me down and explained to me things rather than making things black and white, maybe I would have seen things a slightly different way. If she tried to ever intrude in his life or put restriction, he would just be like, go ma, don't interfere in my life, I don't want you to. But I can't do that with my mom. I know I cannot just raise my voice at her.
No, it definitely does get better. I think it does get better with age and maturity. I think in the family, families also are able to view the woman over a period of time of, okay, you can take care of yourself, you can have your own privacy. And I think it has to do more of convincing for women than for a guy. But it definitely does get better. And I think it's very subjective from family to family. The more traditional you are, the harder it is. I do come from an unorthodox family, so it has definitely gotten easier for my sisters.
Privacy isn't just a right, it's your power to choose, to protect and to be safe. In a world that's constantly watching your every move, your data, your space, your voice should be yours alone. From all our interviews, one thing we gathered was very clear, that privacy is not a privilege, it's a necessity.